I'd like to call the meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Superintendent? Here. Mr. Giuliano?
Here.
Ms. Van Dam?
Here.
Mrs. Steele?
Here.
Mrs. Stahl is not here. Mrs. Whitty?
Here.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Here. Would you please join me in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the school building and notice of said meeting sent to the New Jersey Herald and the Star Ledger.
The Sussex-Wantage Regional School District is a responsive, caring, child-centered community. Our mission is to educate each individual to become a confident, lifelong learner and a productive, responsible citizen by providing challenging opportunities in a safe environment through the partnership of families, schools, and communities.
Thank you. At this time, we will move on to the report of the Superintendent of Schools.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'd like to invite Mr. Schwartz and Mr. Gregory up front to recognize a handful of retirees who have joined us today. I know this is always kind of a bittersweet moment for the administrators in the district. We have a long history of these folks really making solid contributions to the district, and it's unfortunate to see you go, but at the same time, we recognize that you're going to have an amazing rest of your life as you transition to that next phase. So thank you for your service. Up first, Melina Bennett. Mrs. Wilson couldn't be with us tonight, so she forwarded us some comments that she wanted me to put on the record. To Melina, she did RSVP, she's not here yet, but I'm going to move forward with it. Congratulations on your retirement. You have been a very important member of the CEL family for a very long time. Thank you for everything you've done for our students. Your kindness and compassion will be missed. This is not goodbye because you'll be forever remembered in the hearts of the students that you gave your all to every day. Best wishes, your health and happiness in the future. We'll accept our plaque and certificate and get it back to her. Mrs. Henderson takes a big heart to help shape little minds. The schoolroom just hasn't been the same since you left. Thank you so much for everything you have done for our students. Recommendations for next year and into the future: don't set your alarm. Travel to some place you have never been and always wanted to go, and enjoy every day to the fullest. Congratulations.
Picture? Yeah, absolutely.
And Mrs. Cooper, our first grade team has not been the same without you. Your years of dedication and commitment to the faculty, staff, and students of the Clifton and Lawrence School have not gone unnoticed and are sincerely appreciated. Congratulations.
Yes, good evening, members of the Board of Education and members of our audience. I would like to recognize, actually, I believe 10 retirees that we've had, a couple this year. We also had a couple last year. Unfortunately, we were unable to recognize at that time. We'd like to congratulate Mrs. Claudia Camaro for her 25 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. Mrs. Camaro was an amazing teacher who was able to establish a firm yet caring relationship with her students. She believes that every student can learn, and she will guide them to the mastery of the necessary skills to be successful. She accepted nothing less than the student's best potential. Her students know she is fair and readily respond to her expectations. Mrs. Camaro was well respected by everyone and served as a role model for all staff. Truly a respected leader to the Wantage Elementary School and a recent recipient of the Governor Educator of the Year Award. Congratulations, Mrs. Camaro. We would like to congratulate Mr. Debra Fisher for his 28 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. Mr. Fisher may be best known for his math and science expertise, consistently engaging students in hands-on science lessons, such as watching a caterpillar morph into a butterfly. I recall my first meeting with Mr. Fisher at the Model Rocketry Club launching, where I launched my very first rocket. It was interesting how all the students' rockets managed to go perfectly up in the sky, whereas mine went directly towards and hit the school building. Initially, I felt it was just coincidence. However, after getting to know more about Mr. Fisher, I've come to realize that more than likely, he specifically made that rocket just for me to launch as a welcome to the Wantage School District. We would like to congratulate Mrs. Debra Fisher for her 26 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. Mrs. Fisher was truly a phenomenal school nurse, but she was more than a traditional school nurse. She developed positive relationships with the students, staff, parents, and community. She was able to determine what students truly needed medical care for a wound versus the students that needed a little TLC. Students were always welcome into the nurse's office and visited regularly, even if just to get a drink of water. She was an advocate for the health and wellness for each student and determined to make a difference in the school, for which she was successful. She was responsible for organizing the Fun Fit Fair and is currently a member of the County Health and Wellness Committee, where she continues to advocate for the health of every student. We would like to congratulate Mrs. Barbara Donnelly for her 34 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. An administrative assistant position is critical to the success of any organization, and even more crucial to a new principal. Mrs. Donnelly was a huge contributor to my success as I transitioned to Wantage Elementary School. Her knowledge of Wantage Elementary School, the staff and community, was invaluable. When I first met Mrs. Donnelly, she made me aware that she could retire any day. She even went as far to say, "If I don't like you, I'll retire tomorrow." I am very glad to say that Mrs. Donnelly stayed for a couple years and wish she would have stayed much longer, but we wish her the very best in her retirement. We would like to congratulate Mrs. Linda Campana for her 15 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. Mrs. Campana was creative and resourceful when it came to teaching the gifted and talented program. She was able to present lesson activities in a way that encouraged students to think outside the box. Mrs. Campana didn't require any coaching or guidance. Rather, she served as a resource for what the gifted and talented program was all about. Students prospered in their classes as they developed independence, confidence, and collaboration with peers. We would like to congratulate Mrs. Michelle Van Orden for her 21 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. Mrs. Van Orden always placed the students as a top priority. She was caring and always ready to assist when needed. Mrs. Van Orden was well respected by students, staff, and the parent community. She was also a lead staff member assisting with bus duty. Bus duty is a time when there's great excitement, and it is crucial to ensure every student gets on the correct bus in a safe, timely manner. My first year, I recall speaking with Mr. Gall about the procedures for bus duty, and he assured me there were no worries. Mrs. Van Orden has it under control. We would like to congratulate Mrs. Lisa Block for her 19 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. Truly a mastermind with organization and scheduling. Mrs. Wilson comments the following: "What I miss most about Mrs. Block is seeing her words of wisdom on the wall behind her desk. Mrs. Block always had a way of seeing the rain through the clouds and making me laugh. There was never a problem she couldn't solve, especially when it came to the real-time system. I'm going to miss swapping Ocean City, Maryland vacation stories with her this year. She was always returning from Ocean City as Mrs. Wilson was packing her car to head down there. We would like to congratulate Mrs. Janet Bryan for her 32 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. I echo the words of Mrs. Wilson, who comments the following: always calm, always patient, and she always put the needs of her students first. Mrs. Bryan was very talented at creating differentiated activities that students with varied needs all benefit from, and never realized that they were all working on different skills. Mrs. Bryan was a team player and a hard worker. We would like to congratulate Mrs. Terry Miller for her 35 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. That in itself speaks volumes about her commitment to the families and the children in our community. But there's so much more to what makes her such a unique person in our Sussex-Wantage family. Mrs. Miller epitomizes professionalism, is always a team player, and she quietly and consistently does what she knows to be best for the students in her charge. Her love of our kids is evident in every single thing she does, and we have all been blessed to have had her walk these halls with us for all of these years. She is simply the best of the best. She would be truly missed by so many, but we're also excited for her as she heads off on a very well-deserved new adventure. And lastly, for Wantage Elementary School, we would like to congratulate Mrs. Leslie Maggio for her 9 years of service to the Sussex-Wantage Regional School District. Mrs. Maggio was a mastermind behind the functioning of the lunchroom. If you've ever been to the school cafeteria, you understand the challenges associated with committing hours every day to assist in the supervision of our students. She integrated a cleanup system that was facilitated by using laminated poster cards, for which she never had to give a verbal command. She simply posted a card on the wall, and the students knew when it was time for them to begin to clean up and prepare for recess. Watching Mrs. Maggio lead this process and seeing the students respond was certainly most impressive. Congratulations to all of our retirees.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to honor 4 retirees this evening from Sussex Middle School. Mrs. Sharon Vasilius was a member of the Sussex-Wantage School District for 27 years. In her years of service, Ms. Vasilius had an opportunity to work with more than one school in the district and was instrumental in assisting many students. Her role as a teacher assistant helped Mrs. Vasilius develop relationships with individual students as well as groups of students, and she had the opportunity to assist many of them for consecutive years. She also worked with many teachers throughout the district who described her as patient, flexible, understanding, determined, smart, considerate, kind, and caring. We wish her all the best in her retirement, as she's greatly missed. Ms. Leslie Brooks was a member of the Sussex-Wantage School District for 13 years. In her years of service, Ms. Brooks has proved herself to be competent and flexible and demonstrated her ability to handle a variety of situations with good judgment and professionalism. When I entered SMS, it was quickly evident that Ms. Brooks was an educator with a passion to make a change, to influence and to educate all of her students. When she was unable to do so on her first attempt, she tried another way, another approach, and continued trying until she was successful. This determination never left Ms. Brooks and could be seen on a daily, weekly, monthly, and even yearly basis. She developed relationships with individual students and teachers. Many of the teachers with whom she has worked with over the years describe Ms. Brooks as understanding, conscientious, intelligent, sympathetic, creative, and helpful. Ms. Brooks was fully committed to her students and her craft each and every day she set foot in the building, and we congratulate her on her retirement. Ms. Therese Reeder was a member of the Sussex-Wantage School District for 15 years. In her years of service, Ms. Reeder demonstrated her dedication to all of her students along the way. Each year, she strived to teach them not only literary content and reading and writing skills, but about life skills, and character. This came from Ms. Reeder's passion to learn more. She was a student herself, whether it was a subject area or a pedagogical strategy, Miss Reeder was constantly learning more and adding more tools to her toolbox. As one might imagine, her students valued her approach and her dedication. She taught them that being a student lasts a lifetime and the value in learning is something new. Miss Reeder continues to be missed greatly by her students, their parents, and her colleagues. She should know the tremendous impact that she has made on the lives of so many. We wish her nothing but the best in her retirement. Congratulations, Ms. Reeder. And he showed up, Mr. Caton. Mr. Darrell Caton was a custodian in the Sussex-Wantage School District for 19 years. Over those years, Mr. Caton became a staple in the day-to-day here at SMS. Rather than speak to Mr. Caton's custodial responsibilities and how well he completed and managed them, I would like to take some time to speak to what he added to the culture of our building. His positive attitude, infectious smile, and sound of his joyful hums and songs spread cheer throughout the building. Mr. Caton was a bright light. Mr. Caton cared. He cared about his work. He cared about teachers. He cared about the administration. He cared about the teacher assistants. He cared about the secretaries. He cared about everybody. And most of all, he cared about his students. When you work somewhere for 19 years, and each and every day you bring the same unwavering care, you are bound to be cared for. Whether or not the aforementioned groups of people show it to you, Mr. Caton, we care and miss you greatly. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations to all the retirees. At this time, we'd love to have you, but if you chose not to stay for the whole board meeting, it would be the opportune time to leave.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Just a couple other items since our last board meeting to report out on. The ramp over at Sussex Middle School out front is, the ramp project's underway. Take a look at that. They've started excavating and kind of laying some steel rebar for reinforcing the concrete. So, you know, that's progressing really well. I think, Mrs. Riker, July 1st will be our first pre-construction meeting for the CEO well system. Is that right?
Correct.
So we'll be meeting with Wallkill Group, who we've had experiences with before, namely this auditorium, and some other things that have gone very smoothly. So, you know, we fully expect that would be the case as well. Just a reminder about that well system project, one of the kind of upfront conditions were that they'll be able to work on the new elements of the well system while we're currently operating under the the old system and then transfer it over at a time that's convenient, whether it's done for teachers' convention or holiday recess, so there shouldn't be any downtime in water service. Then just to report out on state requirement for a safe return to in-person instruction continuity services for September. That's a report we had to create for the state, upload today. It's on the agenda for board approval. I'm basically going to preface it by saying, kind of relayed to me that there's an understanding that we may not implement any of the things, but the state kind of wants to see that you have these things submitted to them in case you need it. It covers things like maintaining health and safety, things like face masks, very similar to the procedures we implemented this current school year to reopen schools under COVID. So again, they kind of want to see that you have the ability to do it again. The best way I could describe it: physical distancing, hand washing, cleaning and maintaining facilities, contact tracing, diagnostic screening and testing, efforts to provide potentially vaccinations. It's kind of, we basically collaborated with the Sussex County Department of Health this past year, and they were able to get school employees on a list to try to help them get vaccinated for anyone who wanted to. Ensuring continuity of services, and as a condition of this, I kind of highlighted at last board meeting that we have the opportunity for public comment. This plan's already posted on our website. We understand that a lot of people can't make it to board meetings in the summer and things like that, so there is a digital form online where people can also comment, and we take those things into consideration. Two important things to remember. Again, this is kind of a compliance piece at this juncture. I fully expect probably August we'll get more, significant guidelines about what next year will look like. I'm hopeful, no promises, but I'm hopeful that it looks a lot like how the school year ended this year. But, I don't make decisions on the state level, so we'll certainly look at whatever the governor's office puts out and adhere to those. And if we have any public comments from the audience, during the public comments section about reopening schools next year, we'd love to hear them. This plan can be adapted, on an ongoing basis like the last one. That's all I had, Mr. D'Agostino.
Thank you, Mr. Gall. At this time, we will move on to audience remarks. Members of the audience are invited to make brief comments about items on this agenda and matters of interest to the district. All right, seeing none, we will move on to the board secretary certification.
Pursuant to NJAC 6A23A-16.10C3, I certify that as of May 31st, 2021, no line item account has encumbrances and expenditures which in total exceed the line item appropriation in violation of NJAC 6A23A-16.10.
Thank you. We will move on to the approval of board minutes for May 13th, 2021, regular and executive session. Looking for a motion, please.
I'll motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the approval of board minutes? All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Ranzan?
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty?
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele?
Yes.
Mrs. Saul?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Minutes are approved.
We will move on to the presentation of agenda items.
Thank you. Under personnel, I'd like to move items 1 through 10.
All right, looking for a
I'll
motion.
make a motion.
Mrs. Stoll, looking for a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on personnel? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Saul?
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty?
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mrs. Ranzan?
Yes.
Mrs. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Under policy, I'd like to move items 1 through 11.
Looking for a motion, please.
I'll motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on policies? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ranzan?
Yes.
Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Under finance, I'd like to move items 1 through 21.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on finance? All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Ms. Van Zandt,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Under appointments, I'd like to move item number 1.
Looking for a motion.
Motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Ms. Van Zandt,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Under designations, I'd like to move item 1.
Looking for a motion.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Van Zandt,
Yes.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Under other approvals, I'd like to move item 1.
Looking for a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Zandt,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Under adoptions, I'd like to move item 1.
Looking for a motion.
I will make the motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I'm sorry, was the second,
Mrs. Stoll. Discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mrs. Van Zandt,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Under special services, I'd like to move items 1 and 2.
I'll motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on special services? Roll call, please.
Ms. Van Zandt,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Under curriculum, I'd like to move item 1.
I'll motion.
Thank you. For a second.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, was that Mrs. Steele? Mrs. Stahl?
We get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Ms. Van Zandt,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
and Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Referring to the addendum, under personnel, I'd like to move items 1 and 2.
Looking for a motion.
I'll motion.
Thank you. For a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on personnel in the addendum? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mr. Giuliano,
Yes.
Ms. Van Zandt,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino,
Yes.
motion carried.
Under policy, I'd like to move item number 1, and I just want to personally thank Mrs. Craig for her years of service throughout my time in the district. You know, I've known her for probably 15 years. She served on the Board of Education multiple times. She could always be relied upon to be a staunch advocate for kids, and I want to thank her for her service, and I know the board joins me in that regard.
Thank you, Mr. Dahl. Looking for a motion?
I'll motion.
Looking for a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Van Dam,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mr. Juliano,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
Mr. D'Agostino.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Under finance, I'd like to move item number 1.
Looking for a motion.
A motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cooper Trinidad,
Yes.
Mrs. Stahl,
Yes.
Mr. Juliano,
Yes.
Mr. Van Dam,
Yes.
Mrs. Steele, Mrs. Whitty,
Yes.
and Mrs. D'Agostino.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, at this time, we will move on to unfinished business. Does anyone on the board have any unfinished business? Seeing none, we will move on to new business. Does anyone on the board have any new business?
I just want to give an update on, last meeting, I mentioned the idea of kind of monitoring, substitute, rates, substitute teachers. So what I've asked of our county superintendent's association, so a lot of things kind of evolved very rapidly from the last time we collected data on this in response to COVID. So I asked my county association to collect data on what the, counties are doing, what the school districts in the county of Sussex are doing with respect to stuff, so you have an idea of, how you can formulate your opinion about the rates that that we can provide. I know if I didn't bring that up, this wouldn't even be,
All right, thank you, Mr. Gall. Any other new business? All right, seeing none, we will move on to audience remarks again. Members of the audience are invited to make brief comments about items on this agenda and matters of interest to the district. All right, seeing none, we are going to go into executive session for approximately 20 minutes. Can I get a resolution, please, Mrs. Stryker?
Whereas pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B, the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education may exclude the public from that portion of a public meeting at which the board discusses any of the matters described in NJSA 10:4-12B, 1-9. Now therefore be it resolved that the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education shall enter into closed session to discuss the superintendent evaluation. Now therefore be it further resolved by the Sussex-Wantage Regional Board of Education that pursuant to NJSA 10:4-13B, the time when and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public is when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Thank you. Again, about 20 minutes and no action will be taken. Looking for a motion, please.
A motion.
Thank you. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
adjourn, please? Thank you. Looking for a second? All in favor? Aye.